Hey there, language adventurers. Welcome to Tales for Talking, where learning English becomes an exciting journey through funny stories and unexpected situations. I'm Jessica, and I'm thrilled you're joining us today. Let me tell you how our adventure works. First, I'll share a hilarious story about a job interview that went completely wrong, but in the best possible way. Just relax and enjoy as the story unfolds. Then, in our second part, we'll explore all the wonderful expressions and vocabulary from the story. We'll see how these words are actually used in real conversations, making them easier to remember and use yourself. Finally, and this is where you become part of the story, we'll have our interactive session. You'll hear questions about the story, and when you hear the bell, you can pause the video and answer in your own words. Don't worry about getting everything perfect. This is your safe space to practice and have fun. Today's story is about Tom, a young man who prepared for weeks for the most important job interview of his life. But sometimes life has other plans, and they might be even better than what we imagined. Are you ready to find out what happened? Let's dive in.
The perfect job interview. Good morning, everyone. Today I have a hilarious story about Tom Spencer, a young man who was absolutely determined to get his dream job. Make yourself comfortable, because this story might sound familiar to anyone who's ever been nervous about a job interview. Tom had been preparing for this interview for 2 weeks. Every morning and every night, he stood in front of his bathroom mirror practicing his winning smile and rehearsing the perfect answers to every possible question. What are my greatest strengths? Well, I'm extremely organized, dedicated, and he would say to his reflection while brushing his teeth. Even his cat, Mr. Whiskers, had memorized his answers after hearing them so many times. The big day finally arrived. Tom woke up 3 hours early, took an extra long shower, and put on his best suit, the one he'd had professionally cleaned just for this occasion. He even polished his shoes until he could see his worried face in them. "You've got this, Tom," he told himself, adjusting his tie for the 20th time. "This is your moment." He left home an hour early, clutching his portfolio with his sweaty hands. The address was 123 Maple Street, Suite B. Tom had written it down carefully and even drove past the building twice the day before to make sure he knew exactly where it was. When he arrived, Tom took 3 deep breaths, fixed his hair one last time, and walked into the building with perfect posture. The sign on the door read, "Pawfect Training Academy, Suite B." Tom was so nervous, he didn't even notice the paw prints decorating the sign. He sat in the waiting room, mentally reviewing his prepared answers. Strange. There were a lot of dog pictures on the walls, but Tom figured maybe it was some kind of modern office decoration trend. Finally, a cheerful woman came out. "Mr. Spencer, we're ready for you." Tom walked into the room with his most professional smile, extended his hand, and froze. The office was full of dogs, big dogs, small dogs, puppies jumping around, and in the corner, a golden retriever was actually sitting in what looked like a tiny school desk. "Welcome to Pawfect Training Academy," the woman said brightly. "We're so excited to see your methods for teaching our advanced dog obedience class. I must say, we've never had an applicant show up in such a formal suit before." Poor Tom's face turned as red as his tie. He had mixed up the addresses. The accounting firm he was supposed to interview at was at 123 Maple Street, Suite D, not Suite B. But here's the funny part. As Tom started to explain his mistake, a huge, unruly St. Bernard bounded over and knocked him right into a chair. Without thinking, Tom firmly but gently said, "Sit," in the same confident voice he'd been using to practice, "I'm the perfect candidate for this position." To everyone's amazement, the dog sat immediately. The owner's eyes lit up. "Mr. Spencer, that was incredible. We've been trying to get Bruno to listen to commands for weeks. Would you be interested in a different kind of job than the one you came for?" And that's how Tom Spencer, who couldn't tell the difference between a Chihuahua and a Great Dane, accidentally became the most well-dressed dog trainer in town and discovered he was actually brilliant at it. The moral of the story? Sometimes the biggest mistakes lead to the best opportunities, and maybe being prepared for the wrong thing can actually prepare you for the right thing.
Understanding key vocabulary and expressions in context. Let's look at key phrases from our story and understand how they were used. When we said Tom had been preparing for his dream job, we used dream job to show it was the perfect job he really wanted. Notice how this gives us more feeling than just saying job. Remember when Tom stood in front of his bathroom mirror practicing his winning smile? A winning smile is the kind of friendly, confident smile you use when you want to make a good impression, exactly what Tom needed for his interview. In the story, we saw that Tom had his suit professionally cleaned just for this occasion. When something is professionally cleaned, it means it was taken to a special cleaning service, showing how important this interview was to Tom. Let's look at how Tom was feeling. When we said, clutching his portfolio with his sweaty hands, we could really feel his nervousness, right? Clutching means holding something very tightly, and sweaty hands is a common physical sign of being nervous. The story showed a lovely moment of self-encouragement when, "You've got this, Tom," he told himself. This is a common way people encourage themselves or others, meaning, "You can do it," or "You can succeed." When poor Tom's face turned as red as his tie, we could really picture his embarrassment, couldn't we? This expression helps us visualize just how embarrassed he was when he realized his mistake. Remember when the owner's eyes lit up? This phrase shows someone suddenly becoming very interested or excited in this case when she saw Tom's natural talent with dogs. And finally, when we said Bruno bounded over, we could picture the big St. Bernard running energetically toward Tom. Bounded over gives us a much more vivid image than just saying ran. These phrases help make our story more colorful and expressive. Can you think of situations where you might use some of these expressions? Shall we move on to part 3, where we'll have some fun questions about the story? Interactive questions. Now it's time for you to participate. I'll ask you some questions about the story, and you'll have time to answer each one. When you hear the bell, pause the video and try to answer in your own words. Then, play again to hear some possible answers. Question 1. How did Tom prepare for his interview? Possible answer. Tom prepared very thoroughly. He practiced his answers in front of his mirror every morning and night. had his suit professionally cleaned, polished his shoes, and even drove past the building beforehand to make sure he knew where it was. Question 2. What was Tom's big mistake? Possible answer. Tom went to the wrong address. He went to Suite B, Pawfect Training Academy, instead of Suite D, the accounting firm, at 123 Maple Street. Question 3. How do you think Tom was feeling when he first walked into the room full of dogs? Use some expressions from the story to describe his emotions. Possible answer. Tom was clearly shocked and embarrassed, his face turned as red as his tie. He must have felt very nervous and confused seeing all the dogs instead of office workers. Question 4. What unexpected talent did Tom discover he had? Possible answer. Tom discovered he had a natural talent for dog training. Even though he couldn't tell different dog breeds apart, he was able to make the unruly Saint Bernard obey his command immediately. Question 5. Think about the ending. Why do you think Tom succeeded as a dog trainer? What skills from his interview preparation might have helped him? Possible answer. Tom's interview preparation actually helped him succeed as a dog trainer. His confident voice from practicing interview answers worked well for giving commands to dogs. His professional and determined attitude impressed the owner, and his ability to stay calm under pressure helped him handle unexpected situations. Great job, everyone. Remember, sometimes our biggest mistakes can lead to wonderful surprises. Just like Tom, you might discover talents you never knew you had. Wow, wasn't Tom's story a fantastic adventure? I hope you had as much fun learning these expressions as Tom had discovering his hidden talent. Before you go, here's a little challenge. Try telling this story to a friend in English. You'll be amazed at how many new expressions you can use naturally now. If you enjoyed today's story and want more fun adventures in English, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. Each week, we'll explore new stories together and boost your English skills through laughter and imagination. Have a story suggestion? Drop it in the comments below. And remember, just like Tom, sometimes the best things happen when we least expect them. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and I'll see you next week for another tale that will get you talking. Until then, this is Jessica, reminding you that every mistake is just another opportunity to learn. Take care, language adventurers.